Hi everyone, Chad here. First off, I'm so excited to get out there on the bike, get immersed in all the numerous ecosystems that we'll pass through, and test ourselves against all the goals that we've set for ourselves individually. This route's really hard, but you'll be rewarded with just an incredible variety of terrain and ecosystems, way more than you'd ever expect to pass through on a route that's 200-ish miles long. I know rides coming from back home in Illinois, it was just kind of like those old Tom and Jerry cartoons where you're going past the same thing over and over for 200 miles. Out here, that is not the case. Just every 10 miles, it feels like you're in a different world. I hope you enjoy that as much as I do. So back to the hard part. There is a lot of climbing. I'm sure you've seen the numbers there, 25,000 feet and 220 miles. Also, the roads are pretty rough. When I did a lot of scouting for this over the last 5 or 6 years, some of it was on tires 36, 40C. These days when I ride it, I'm riding something that's in that 50C range, which is like 2 inches or even bigger if you can manage that. Just makes everything more comfortable, especially on some of those long downhills. So there's two areas that you will need to push your bike. One of them is pretty grueling. It's up to the high point on the route, over 10,000 feet up. Just a super steep, loose Jeep road. The good news is, and you can take comfort in knowing that once you get up to the top and cross that kind of flat plateau up there, it's 25 miles of downhill to a resupply. So as you're suffering up that hard hike-a-bike push, to the high point, take comfort in that. The other one is during the 25-mile downhill, there will be a tunnel that you will need to hike over. Let's look at a map on that. All right, the second time you're gonna have to hop off your bike is super cool. So after you go through 2 or 3 tunnels, you'll come to another tunnel on Gold Camp Road that is collapsed and is gated at the entrance. The GPS route will take you over a trail over the top of the tunnel. Starts on the left of the tunnel, comes over the top, and then drops back down to Gold Camp Road. This is only going to be, maybe a 4 or 5 minute quick hop off the bike for you. Stretch those legs in the middle of that 25-mile downhill. And then you'll be right back on the road, partying back down toward the town. So resupply, you've got Lake George at mile 60. The Granite General Store there is super cool. They're usually open till 6. A lot of good stuff there. You've got Cripple Creek at mile 131. There is a 24-hour gas station there. Super useful. No matter when you're coming through, you know that you're going to be able to resupply there. And then you got Colorado Springs at mile 176. And that's going to be the last resupply. Also going to be the last water you're going to see before the finish line, and that's about a 45 or 50 mile stretch there. So when you're rolling out of Colorado Springs, which also has a 24-hour 7-Eleven, make sure that you're just topped off on everything and ready for that last push up that big climb and then back down to Monument. During your resupply in Colorado Springs, do keep an eye on your gear. Don't have any hour-long shopping sprees or anything. Use that 7-Eleven and the Starbucks there where it's easy to keep an eye on your gear because there is, being a big town we cut through real quick, a lot of people that do the bike camping life 365 days a year in an urban environment who would love to have all of our gear. So just note that in that location. In addition to the resupplies, there's quite a few water sources en route that you'll want to utilize. Kind of the 4 benchmarks for me are Turkey Creek at mile 40, the river in 11 Mile Canyon at mile 66, 4 Mile Creek at mile 121, and Middle Beaver Creek at mile 145. So the biggest gaps between water are going to be when you leave 11 Mile Canyon onto Wagon Gulch Road. From there, at mile 66 until mile 121, the water is really inconsistent. There's been times I've seen water in between there, and there's been times I've ridden there and it's been totally dry and I've ran out. So when you leave 11 Mile Canyon, just know, be up to the gills with water, because you might find something in between there, but it could be dry for 60 miles. One of the most fascinating parts about rides like this for me is everyone's different strategies regarding sleep. Some people are going to see 220 miles and just aim to push straight through, go super light, all 25,000 feet of climbing in one go. Other people are going to plan on crashing, setting up a tent or whatever for however many hours that is for 1 or 2 nights. In this map, I have highlighted in blue the areas that are public land that are much easier to find a place to crash for a while instead of just taking a 30-minute or hour-long, ditch nap. So know that, just know what's easier, what's feasible, and have fun and push those boundaries. I hope you're as excited as I am for all the adventure and unknowns that happen with every bikepacking trip. We'll see you soon.